Hello. Hi, class. Hi, Mr. Roy. This is Christopher Figures with Figure Solution on the net. And he particularly worked for a studio, a religious studio, which is based in the church. So basically, he's going to tell you what studio he worked for as an engineer slash producer mixer. He just do the work part-time, right?
Yeah, part-time.
Part-time. So basically, this is the closest I could get to a producer or an engineer or a mixer in the studio. So give him a listening ear. So far, Christopher, what studio do you work for? What church do you work for?
So as of right now, I work for Excel Church. It seats about 1,400 people, and I am the audio engineer of that church. So I do all the setup, the taking down of that church.
Okay.
And I also do studio work. So all of that and studio work. Typically, my day is I come in and I make sure the sound is correct, hook up the wires, whether it's an XLR cable or detaching the piano cable, and make sure that all the speakers are at the right setting, and sometimes doing even occasionally live mixes or reverbs live and stuff like that, and making sure that there's not a lot of noise. There's a thing called pink noise and white noise and stuff like that. A lot of people use to cancel out these eerie noises. Those kind of get annoying sometimes, and I have to figure that out. So.
Okay. So far, in the studio base, what kind of music do you prefer to listen to, or what kind of music do you create or mix in there that would provide your audience or your church people with a better sound or music?
Oh, so typically, like the first question, I like to listen to contemporary music, which is a lot of contemporary music. I also like some rap music, and I also like pop, R&B. I like a variety of different forms of music.
Okay.
But what I typically do is, honestly, I don't. I do a lot more mixing of pop music than I do any other thing in contemporary, which is kind of strange. I don't really do. I do hip hop sometimes, but I do a lot of pop and sometimes occasionally R&B. It depends on what I'm doing.
Well, strictly Christian based, right?
Strictly Christian based, majority of the time.
Yeah. Okay. What type of promotions do your studio do to promote your brand of music, which is Christian music?
I really don't do any promoting. I actually, the person I'm doing the music for, they do the promoting for their music, but we use via YouTube and stuff like that.
Okay.
But so.
That's nice. I basically go on YouTube too and look for country for country and Christian music, Christian rap, but I barely find good Christian rap. So basically, I'm looking for that. What types of questions do you get asked around the studio when you're working and something is not functioning?
The question is can you fix it? That's the question that I get, but that's the engineer aspect, because a lot of times even professionals do it. If the vocal's not working, you see the mic has messed up, but that person has left the building, and they want that mix done correct. What you can do, there's multiple things you can do. There's tricks. There's if you would say hacks to the thing. There's a lot of tricks you can do. Whether you can add, you can dub the voice, or you can add a reverb to add in that vocal, or simply take a piece of another vocal and kind of add the syllables together. There's multiple things you can do to that.
So as a mixer slash producer, would you suggest just overriding these sounds, or just cover these sounds and make it more lenient to the ear? Just about going about mixing other sounds to prevent hearing like white noise or other unquality noise sounds.
So I wouldn't use white noise a lot of times, or just crazy noise, but typically I just use a mixer's trick. Just add something cool in the middle of it if it works. Now if it doesn't work, not all the time. Sometimes it doesn't work, and you cannot do that, so you have to go back and re-record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you follow music? Do you follow the music religiously, or if so, what genre?
So typically, I follow like contemporary worship music, but I also listen to Christian rap. That's the type of music I follow and I listen to. So.
Okay, cool. When working around an orchestrated piece like Christian choral, or pieces that has to do with a lot of chorus, what do you look for in the tunes or the sounds?
So typically, when I go into a mix, even if it was that mix, I look for similar sounds.
Okay.
For example, if it's a bass, I look for bass sounds,
Okay.
bass sounding instruments, and I typically start there. Or if it's a vocal instrument, I start there. But I kind of find the ranges in frequency on the on the EQ equalizer.
Okay.
That's what I typically do first. Once I figure that out, then I begin to mix around that.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. When preparing an album, how do you make the small touches? How do you make the small touches on when you're preparing an album?
So the way I make the small touches is you take basically when you do an album, and an album is someone's masterpiece. So
Yeah.
what you do for the small touches is you want to literally take that vocal or take that song and really make that unique and take out every little thing that you can possibly take out without overdoing it, because
Okay.
I see a lot of people, what they do in their mixes, they do something, they add too much.
Yeah.
And really, when you mix, you don't need to add so much.
Yeah, it get overloaded. Yeah.
It's a lot more. Mixing, a lot of times it's you taking out. It's
Yeah.
not you adding more.
Okay.
And a lot of times I will take out some things. I may add a little things here and there,
Yeah.
maybe another drum solo or something, but it's a lot of things you gotta take
Yeah.
out mixing. For example, if someone was speaking and their vocals were a little too muffled,
Oh,
I
wow.
will drop. I'll go over to 1K
Yeah.
and drop that, and also in heighten over 3 to 4K down.
Okay.
And I will probably, depending on how they sound, I'll probably take some of the stuff lower than 100.
Okay.
Out.
Okay.
And that's what I would do. So.
Okay. Cool. Cool. When preparing an album, I already asked that question. There's a few steps that you look for in an album that is of quality or professional. What kind of step do you look for in a complete album that is completed, that will be sold? What are the quality aspects that you look for?
Well, I look for one good thing is that I can hear all the sounds clearly.
Yeah.
And that they all have their unique touch. Now, there's some sounds that you won't hear if you don't listen to it attentively.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to hear all the sounds, and I want to hear the how it is surrounded in your ear and that environment, not just 2D sounds, but almost like a 3D feel. That's the way I like to mix. Almost like the sound is surrounding you.
Yeah.
And is captivating you.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. What kind of editing cutting software that is a good brand out there to use?
Logic and Pro Tools.
Logic and Pro
I like
Tools.
Logic because that's what I typically use a lot.
Okay.
But I also do enjoy Pro Tools.
Okay.
But for editing, it would probably be Logic and Pro Tools. Those would be the two biggest ones.
Between Logic and Pro Tools, what's the difference? Which one is better?
Okay, so I believe that they both have their unique capabilities.
Okay.
Of course, Pro Tools kills the live performance around it. And Logic is just something that I just got used to.
Okay.
That's something that I just
experience.
that's like someone's favorite guitar instrument.
Yeah.
They like this particular guitar because that's what they use.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
As an engineer / producer, what are your basic goal in a good studio? What would you have in there that would be your suitable experience arranging, mixing equipment that you would use?
Equipment that I would use. So I would typically have a mic. I like blue mics. Typically, those
What are blue mics?
Because the sound is for cheaper results. I like blue mics.
Okay.
Because the way the sound sounds, and I like JBL speakers.
Okay.
That's typically what I use is JBLs.
Okay.
And also. Of course, a MacBook, because it's fast.
Yeah.
And typically, a lot of people go for soundproof rooms, but it depends on your setup and how much money you can spend. But I would typically put that in there. But sometimes, if you're in a hurry, so a lot of artists do this, even professional artists do this. If you're recording, and you don't have time to go into the studio, a lot of times they do live do recording on the travel, and you have to be able to move with that. Now, sometimes you don't even necessarily need everything there. You just need to kind of learn how to cancel out the sound, and that's where the real technique comes from. So if it was down to that point where someone was traveling, I would use a mic, a thing to cover the mic, as far as the soundproofing it a little bit, and then a MacBook and a few JBLs and headphones, and you can do your thing with that. So
wow. One last question: what do you prefer on using with a CD or album that you're about to mix, which have loud sounds with a mix of different loud sounds in there? What do you do to level that out?
Okay, so typically if it's a lot of loud sounds.
Yeah.
All right, so it all depends, because loud sounds a lot of times. If it's too loud, you can turn it down. That's one way. But the EQ is a very dynamic thing you can use. Also, you can, if it is controlling your environment, and it's manipulating it, and it's too much, sometimes you cut it out, or you do something called you mess with the stereo, and you put it in the background. And you drop it low. Usually when the sound is too loud, for example, if I were to use a hi-hat, typically when I mix a hi-hat, I turn it over to 35, negative 35 or 35 decibels, you know, over to the left, you know, and I do that because I pan it over to the left around 35, and I turn it down around 20, 21, 22, because I like the sound. Now, if it was like something like drums, I'll typically keep that at 8 decibels. 8 decibels, or -8. I'm sorry, -8 decibels. Typically for drums. And I would do that a lot, but it depends on what it is. For example, different sounds vary, and the songs are subjective, so you don't necessarily. You would have to have a feel for the sound, and am I overpower? And for example, if you're a singer and you are singing pop, or you're singing a
like rap, like Tupac's Ghost song,
like if you were a Tupac, I would typically put your vocal in the center, kind of smash it, compress it, 3-to-1 ratio, something along there. But if you were like a pop singer and your voice needs to carry, like for example, if you're like someone like Katy Perry, your voice needs to carry a little higher, then I would use something interesting, like I would use a mastering tool to bump that up. Also, I use stereo delay to.
What kind of mastering tool would you prefer?
So there's different ones. It's a multi-band compressor. So a multi-band compressor, I use that to bring out the vocal, and that's a tool that many people use for pop. But for rap, I would just use a compressor and maybe just a little bit of that tool. I use that a lot, and depending on what it is, I might use a little stereo delay, but not too much.
Okay, cool. This is Christopher Figures. He work as Fifth Figure Solution. He's currently going through a lot of businesses. You could reach him at Excel Church. You could reach him at Excel Church. Do you have a phone number?
Yes.
What is it?
616-228-5159.
That's the church's phone number?
That's mine.
That's his cell phone number. Yep. You can reach him at that if you want to get in touch with him. He does a lot of businesses with and on the internet by providing business with software work or web development, marketing. You could get in touch with him and he'll help you with these things. Yep. This is Christopher Figures again. Say bye-bye, Christopher, I guess.
Bye-bye.